supposed to get some we're under a severe weather alert. We're going to have tornadoes and lightning and rain and crazy winds where like it's pretty bad for us coming this way.
Morning, everyone. I just wanted to do a little episode here talking about the extreme cold fronts that we're getting in way earlier than we are than usual. Just a couple little tips to prepare for the chilly weather.
Yeah, it's gonna get chilly. Hello and to everyone that's listening to us or watching. This might be one you might want to watch, as I have some show and tells that, for examples that I wanted to share with you guys, so you can see what we're talking about. That would help out. With that being said, I'm going to go over to the 10-day weather forecast because the weather is going to change drastically within the next actually 2 to 3 days, depending where you're at. In the Nashville area today, our temperature here for today, our high is going to be 67. Tomorrow it's going to be 69. That doesn't seem right. I think that's wrong direction. I'm sorry. Okay, here we go. I'm sorry. That didn't look right. So our high today is going to be 70. And 70 tomorrow, and then it all falls down. It's going to be a high of 48 with the low of 29. Monday's high is 38 with the low of 25. So this is why we wanted to bring this out to you guys, so you guys can get prepared for this massive cold front. It's huge. It's all the way up from Canada, and it's going to go all the way down to Florida, Texas, and a lot these entire Midwestern states and the South. It's going to experience some really low temperatures and unusual for this time of the year, being in November. This is temperature that we don't usually get until January or February. So this is why I wanted to bring this out to y'all's attention. With that being said, we can go ahead and start off. Lisa made a great notes here for us to kind of make sure that we stay on point for this being not really so dramatic, just to drive the point to you guys. One of the things that she brought up was make sure your windows are closed and locked and sealed. So if you have a window that slides, that you can slide up, and then the top part actually slides down for easy cleaning or just opening more ventilation, make sure, go ahead and go through every single window and make sure that the top pane and the lower pane are both in a seated, sealed position, and then lock them so they stay there.
Even if you do feel like a little wind, you could grab some blue tape for the time being and just kind of cover those little spots just to help seal it a little bit more. I mean, it's a temporary fix. It's not, a forever fix, but just since it's going to be so cold, definitely don't want any extra cold air coming in your house.
Exactly. There's no sense to pay for gas to heat your house or electric, whatever you use, to just cool it off. Which brings, so in one of our other podcasts, we talked about how to winterize your home and get things ready. And this is why we brought this up on our podcast. And probably going to keep on driving that a lot during this winter, because I don't want anybody to be out suffering and be cold or have busted pipes or whatever the case is. So we're going to keep on driving this. So if you haven't gotten around to weatherproof your doors and windows, seals, make sure all that's done. You have 24 hours, 35 hours, something like that, to get this done. I suggest y'all go ahead and get prepared and start doing some of this. Even on your way home from work, you can stop and grab this stuff. Today is November 7th on a Friday, just so y'all know about that. The other thing too is like your exterior plugs. If you haven't gotten a chance to get the weather packs for behind the plug covers, if you haven't had chance to get those, you can go ahead and get those now and get those put on and use that as this cold weather temperatures to do an indoor project. You can go ahead and get that done. But if you haven't If you don't have the budget, or and it's not that they're very expensive, but some people just don't have it in their funds to do it. But if you have some painter's tape, you can actually put those over your plug receptacle where you actually plug your cord in, because they actually make plugs, things that go in there to block that out for kids, like childproof stuff,
Yeah, say
and
we
those
have a
help a little
bunch
bit.
saved still from Jackson when when we just kept them on for all of
Right.
our exterior ones. So we still currently have them up, all the
Mm-hmm.
exterior ones.
Yeah. So at minimum, do that. The
Or the
next
blue,
best thing
or the
is use the
tape.
blue tape.
Yeah,
Right. Just be careful when you're doing those, but it's not very very difficult. So make sure you get that done.
right.
Um, and check your weather stripping around, like your windows and doors, garages, room, your any open way to get outside. So if you can get outside that way, air comes in. So get those done. And then my show and tell is these. So these are really neat because they go over um, your water spigots that are outside to connect your garden hose to. And what they do is, let me see if I get this undone. So there's a little tab right there. You push that tab, right? And then it unlocks it so you can move it. And then you slide this out. This goes on your spigot where you connect your garden hose. And then you kind of just on the other side, since you already got that hooked up, then you pull this, right? And then let's just say that's what you need. And then you take that lock thing again and you zip it to it, and it holds it in place against the whatever you have, exterior vinyl siding, aluminum siding, brick, concrete, whatever you have. And then this foam seal will contour to whatever the shape is and hold that in there. Okay.
That
These are
protector
rough.
for them.
Excuse me.
It's a protector.
Yeah, as a protector, right? So they work out really good, and they're hard, and it's just like a foam.
And
So
then
these
use
are
them.
pretty old and nasty looking, but they work really well.
Right.
Now, if you don't have the money or you waited too long, the minimist you can do, and I made this one. I don't know why I made it, but I made it. So this has got bubble insulation wrap inside, and that goes over your spigot, right? Then I took a towel and wrapped the insulation, right? And then I took a grocery bag over the towel to keep some of the moisture if it did rain or whatever the case is, and just wrapped it up with duct tape. This one's falling apart. This is, I don't know how long. I found it in the garage. So,
A creative way.
yeah, at minimum, do something like this just to protect your pipes. It's really important that you guys do that, just so you don't have any busted water pipes. That'd be awesome. And then, since you're going to put those on, it'd be a great time to go ahead and take your garden hoses off and stretch them out, get all the water out, roll them back up, put them away in the garage or whatever storage area you have for outdoor stuff, and put those away. You should be ready to rock and roll. And let's see. One of the other things that Lisa brought up on our list was close your blinds and curtains and keep the heat inside of your home. That's a pretty good one, Lisa. I wouldn't have thought about that, but that makes sense.
Yeah. Every time you open it, you're letting out, I mean, you're not letting out a whole bunch of heat, but just to kind of keep it a little bit warmer. Because depending where you are located, it might, I don't know, some of them, it might start getting condensation on the windows. So just to kind of keep it closed is the
Right.
best idea.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a thermal curtain as well. I mean, that obviously not in a short time you can grab one of those, but for the future, those are helpful too.
Right. Yeah, that'd be a good time to get those done. To get, use what
If
you
you have a
have, right?
fireplace, you want to make sure you get some of have wood ready in case you need to heat your home more or if something goes wrong with your heat. You want to make sure you have firewood available. And then also, you want to make sure you test out your carbon monoxide detectors because those are going to be extremely important when you're using your fireplace to help heat your home. That is a very big uh, situation that could happen, using your
For sure.
fireplace and making sure that, you're warming yourself up. You also want to make sure that it's okay to be breathing in that air as well.
Yeah. Gotta be safe about it as well.
Yeah.
Good point. Good point. If you have thermal insulated windows or glass on your doors, whatever the case is, you can actually, excuse me, you can actually open your blinds and your drapes during the day to use the sunlight to heat up some of your home too. Um,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
yeah, and that's kind of counterintuitive of what those windows, that special glass, it's like a double pane. It's got a glass in the inside and a glass on the outside, and then they put a gas in the center, and that's supposed to help the heat transfer. Like in the summertime, you don't want heat coming in, so that's what that window was kind of designed for. Keeps the weather out, the cold and hot. But if you have those kind of windows, you really don't have to worry so much about closing stuff up as much. But sometimes the gas could leak and it doesn't work as efficient. So keeping your as well. So you can keep your blinds closed and keep your curtains closed and all that good stuff. Especially the heavy duty winter ones are pretty nice too. So and then your firewood, that was a good point too, Lisa. There to bring that up. Uh, and let's see, the next was what you said one about having your cabinet doors open.
Like I know you should have your water lines, I guess, and your exterior water lines insulated a bit.
Right.
Um, so I mean, if you can't do that quickly enough, like you can still open those cabinet doors. Like our kitchen sink is an exterior wall, so usually just try to open those cabinets up to get a little bit of the warmth in for those pipes, so that way they don't freeze. Because then that's a whole another problem if you do get those
Exactly.
kind of situations.
Yep.
So I mean, I don't know if you could wrap them with towels for the time being if it's an extreme cold, or
Right.
just at least keeping them open, the exterior pipe walls. That would be a good idea for sure. I know I've also read, I've only had to do it one time when it was extremely, extremely cold, is to have the water faucets dripping just to keep water moving through the pipes so they don't freeze as well. I only had to do that one time quite a few Januaries ago, but that's, extreme, extreme cold. I don't know if that's necessary for this cold front, but I guess
Yeah, I
just
don't think
kind
it's
of
gonna.
see where depending wherever you're located.
Right. Yeah, that's definitely the big key factor right there. Is depending where you're located. The other thing too, it's not going to last long. It's going to warm back up after that. After this,
Right.
this cold front goes through. So, um, but it still can happen. It doesn't take much for like a hose or a pipe, exterior pipe to freeze. So, uh, with that being said, um, prepare a box of non-perishable food, water, can opener, flashlights, batteries, first aid kit, stuff like that, just in case you do lose power. Um, if you have those essentials and you do lose power, because think about this, it's going to rain, and a lot of the how would you say trees, branches, and stuff like that they're going to freeze and they're going to get heavy, and that stuff can land on top of the power lines, and then you lose power. So if you have access to a generator, I would say go ahead and make sure that thing's got propane, natural gas, gasoline, whatever it is. Check your oil on that, start it up, just let it run for 20 minutes or so, just to make sure it's in good operating temperatures and it's going to work right. So get that ready as well. um, but you really don't lose any kind of natural gas or propane if you have that at home. But electricity could possibly happen if this storm happens the way they're talking about. So have that done, and obviously have your perishables just in case you do have lose power. You don't have to open up your fridge. And if you do open up your fridge and you have stuff that is thawing out, I'm just saying, I'm not telling you guys to do it. It's something that I have done. Put it outside when it's cold. Let it freeze. It's going to freeze anyways.
Yeah, that's true.
So just kind of do that.
True.
So that's one way to look at that. Um, let's see. Have blankets, warm hats, gloves, socks, shoes, and insulated boots ready. You're not just sure if you have to go outside. If something happens outside, against your home, it's keeping you from have power, or you lose, um, you have a busted water line. You want to make sure that you're going to be warm and toasty while you're out there, so you don't have to stop and not and be without with power or water, whatever the case is. So if you can be
Yeah, you
warm
just
while
want to
you
have
take
that
care.
stuff available because, like, it's the temperatures are going to be different or more extreme than, and you might not have dug out your winter clothes or your winter supplies yet. You know,
Bingo.
so yeah, just grabbing just some hats, some gloves, just having those or thick socks. Because if your power does go out, you could even, it might be uncomfortable, but you might have to sleep with those things on.
Wow, I
But
didn't
so
even think
just go
about
ahead and
that.
like dig them out so that way you have them already. You could even throw them in the same box as like your perishable items, but just to have your hat and gloves, scarf, those kind of things that you are not really have ready, but just grab them and have them in that box in
Yes.
case. You don't want to
Yes.
have the power go out and you're, freezing and then trying to search for these items. So rather
Yeah,
just have
especially when
them.
you don't have any power. You can't see what you're looking for.
Exactly. You'd be searching with a flashlight in your basement for the box of the winter clothes or whatever. You don't want to be trying to deal with that. That'll be even more frustrating than you already are. So,
But if you get organized and if you've already started cleaning out your closets like we were talking about, you probably know where the stuff's at. So,
right. So
keep
yeah,
keep
just try to have at least one pair of everything just so you can have it be ready.
yeah, for
If
sure.
you have any pets, you want to make sure you have warm little beds or get some extra blankies for them. If they
Hmm.
have clothes, like pet clothes, put their sweater on or put their little
Exactly.
shoes on or,
Hmm.
whatever is going to help keep them warm if, you have a power situation or just have that out. Have extra blankets that you don't mind them laying on. Obviously, they still have to use the bathroom, so take them outside, but just have quick trips. You don't want them outside any longer than they need to be.
Yeah, the little pawpaws get cold.
Yeah, you don't want Marley to his little paws to be frozen.
No, speaking of Marley, Marley, you sleeping?
Probably.
She, she's back there on the carpet, curled up in her bed next to the couch. I'm sure, my little buddy. Yeah, make sure you have that. Get the puppies or kitties or whatever pets you have outside. Make sure they're protected. But speaking, I just thought about this. Our cousin Elizabeth with Furless Wax Studio. She's got them goats. I wonder what you do in that situation. That's kind of weird.
I know that she had like a little shed area, so maybe
Oh, okay.
maybe they insulated it or
Yeah,
a lot of
maybe it's
hay inside.
right, right. It's actually sleeping on hay or laying in it in the winter, you can stay pretty toasty.
I mean, yeah, they used to have beds of haze for people. Like that's what the mattresses used to be. So I'm
Right.
sure it does get warm.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
And
any outdoor animals, just,
yeah,
keep an eye on them. I guess careful with their water or food because that could freeze as well outside.
yeah, if you can put like a tennis ball or something or a ball inside their thing source of water so it moves around and it doesn't take a chance. It won't freeze up as fast that
That's
way.
a good idea.
Yeah, and then they like horses, if you like in a horse trough, if the horses are outside in temperature like this, water will freeze. People will put like big balls in there because then they can push it the horse will actually push the ball and break up the ice.
Okay. I've seen
Yeah, so
people that have balls in their water things. I didn't know what the reasoning was. I thought they
yeah,
just for to play, but that's a good idea.
yeah, you gotta have that ball in there. It makes a big difference in horse troughs, so water troughs. So, and in your car, make sure you have a full tank of gas. Not just because you may have to use it, but also uh, a fuel tank that has less fuel in it, that's not full, has more room for condensation to build up, and then can cause fuel issues in your car, problems and this and that. So get those filled up. And worst case scenario, if your area loses power, and you gotta think, if you lose power, most likely that gas station has also lost power. So um, you may have to go to Aunt Betty's or Uncle Roke's or Joe's or whatever to get to have some heat. So be for that. And then if there's a certain vehicle that you like to use in the winter more because weather-wise, um, make sure if you have little ones that they have their necessity items in those cars, car seats and stuff like that. Don't wait to the last minute to start swapping stuff out. Have that ready, and then cover any plants that you want to keep before they freeze.
Inside if you're able to.
Right.
Um, Real quick back on the car situation,
Yes.
make sure you have like any blankets or again extra clothes, water, a bag of snacks just in case. So if you do have to travel somewhere else that might be further that you weren't expecting, just to have some of those things or car trouble, hopefully not, but you never know. So just try to
Exactly.
have those things in your car as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta get gas though. Thinking about that, as you just said, I need to make sure I get my gas. So the
Yeah.
Costco line is gonna be long.
Yeah. I mean, just it's one of those things like you got to go get pick up Jackson from school anyway. So I guess it'd be a field trip to Costco and go get a rotisserie chicken for $5, and then you have dinner, and get gas. Do everything you got to do. Get it over with, and you probably still have tomorrow as well, but more people will
Yeah, the
probably wait
weekends
till the
is
last
more
minute.
busy.
So
Right. But
you don't want to be one of those and have to deal with the madness. So um, just make sure that and make sure you got groceries. It's a good time to go ahead and get that over with as well. So there's a lot to do, and yes, we still have time, but don't wait to the final last few hours to do this. Just spread it out. Like I said, you got you got a few hours, a day and a half roughly. So get that going now, so you don't have to do everything at one time. Um, let me see, and yeah, bring your plants in, cover them up. I've got a couple of excuse me, man. Um, we got a couple of jalapeno and serrano plants that I want to save, so I'm going to actually dig those up and pot them in pots and bring those in. So that's a way. And at the very least, if you're going to leave them outside and you do want to keep them, you can't bring them in. You can place a bucket over the plant, or simply just put some sheets over it with some sticks.
sheets, yeah,
Hmm.
just try to cover them. Or you have like I don't know if everybody does this, but I use a bale of hay as part of my fall decorations. You could just go ahead and break that up and go throw it on your plants to
Right.
insulate them a little bit more too.
Yeah, that's exactly what we do as well for our strawberries. We just
So,
cover
I
them up with
mean,
the straw.
that's probably what I'll do actually. I still have my hay bale out. I'm gonna go probably throw that out there and um also take down any Halloween decorations if you do. I did that this morning as well. So that way that's not freezing
Yeah,
to the ground.
yeah, you don't want to deal with that in the cold anyway. So go ahead and get it done,
No,
and
so
it
yeah.
may blow away. You know,
Oh, well, yeah, true as well.
yeah,
So,
we're supposed to get some. We're under a severe weather alert. We're gonna have tornadoes and lightning and rain and crazy winds. Where like it's pretty bad for us coming this way. So we just wanted to make this a little short video, give you guys some information, and let guys know that hey, you need to get your stuff together for this, so you don't have to go without with any kind of comfortability. So
go. Stay cozy and warm and indoor activities these next several days.
Yeah, 10-4 on that one. Yeah, just get these stuff done, guys. We love y'all. Thank you for tuning in and watching us and listening to us. And please don't forget to give us a good review. And if you're watching it on YouTube, subscribe to our channel and hit a little bell for alert notifications. It'll send you an alert saying, hey, it's a brand new video out. And give us a thumbs up. Have a good one.
Stay warm, everyone. Have a good one.
Stay warm. Be toasty. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you guys for always supporting our show. Please subscribe and review on Apple Podcasts. Follow and rate on Spotify or subscribe on YouTube. 2 Voices, 1 Life Podcast. That's the number 2 Voices, 1 Life Podcast. Don't forget to follow us on our Instagram and TikTok. That's 2V1 Life Podcast. Also, our Facebook, 2 Voices, 1 Life Podcast. We hope you guys have a great week and catch the new episode next Wednesday. Bye.